president's
Can I
address.
finish now?
No, you can't, John, because we're here to talk about the president's.
Welcome to this week's Wacky Moments of Liberal Expression. This week, the media worked extra hard to place blame for the coronavirus all on the Trump administration. I mean, they were critical of every aspect of how it's been handled. And if you think for a second that any aspect is actually being handled well, then they just shout you down. Literally.
Why not? That's why you're here to talk about the president's address.
Can I finish now?
No, you can't, John, because we're here to talk about the president's.
Of course they won't let you talk, not unless you agree that all things Trump are bad. 2 minutes later, when Lemon finally lets John Kasich, who doesn't agree with him, talk, well, Don Lemon becomes all deep stares and arched eyebrows.
If you're not going to help,
no, Don,
if you're not going to be accurate, why do it?
I do understand it. Look, I'm just trying to tell you that I thought his tone tonight was good. So he had to clarify something, okay? 98% of what he did was good. And what we wanted was a seriousness out of the president to tell people that things are not good and they're probably going to get worse. And I'm not saying this is going to disappear or go away. This is very serious stuff.
Leave it to the organization that settles their defamation lawsuits to dislike having any clarification on information. Just understand this. If Trump does it, it's bad.
And this is all happening at a time that we're starting to see a message shift here, because you're starting to hear the Republicans, especially Trump calling it the Wuhan or the Chinese coronavirus. They're looking for someone to blame. That's going to be part of the story.
It's going to come across to a lot of Americans as smacking of xenophobia. To use that kind of term in this speech, Chris.
Well, look, sometimes we can answer the questions, and the answer is he's doing it to put blame somewhere else.
Yes, his intentions are bad. But, you know, if someone else says it.
The Wuhan coronavirus.
The 34-year-old ophthalmologist diagnosed Saturday with the Wuhan coronavirus.
The Wuhan coronavirus.
The first U.S. case of Chinese coronavirus.
The Chinese coronavirus.
They said the same thing all the time for weeks, but they obviously say lots of things that they don't think the president should be allowed to say.
Disinfect all the time. I mean, look, if somebody coughs or sneezes in here, it doesn't matter if you disinfected yesterday, you've got to disinfect again.
Go straight ethnic. Be cleaning everything all the time with the harshest cleaners that you can find.
I can only imagine what they would do if the president said, go straight ethnic when cleaning your home. I mean, CNN would be having marathon town hall specials on it. Heck, the leftist media even got annoyed this week when the president wore a hat.
A foreign leader, like, I don't know, the leader of China or Italy, were touring his or her nation's version of the CDC or the WHO in a cap that reflected their sports interest. That would be weird. If they were wearing a hat with the slogan of their re-election campaign on it, I think it would be noted internationally.
Yeah, you certainly don't often see Chinese presidents wearing re-election campaign hats, being that China's communist and they don't have elections. But hey, okay. It's also clearly okay for Joe Biden to raise campaign funds on the coronavirus.
I don't think the Biden campaign could have expected that the White House, that President Trump would essentially gift wrap them such an opportunity when they scheduled this remarks to do what they've been really wanting to do for this entire campaign.
But if Biden wore a hat, I guess the coverage would have been completely different, right? A hat may have covered up Joe's hair plugs, but couldn't have done the quality cover-up job that the leftist media did while covering the moment that Biden threatened to slap a voter this week.
Wait. Take your AR-14s and
okay, this is not okay. Hold on, all right? Hey, let's get moving. There's a lot of guys.
You think a presidential candidate threatening to slap a voter, well, that just may have gotten some airtime. But all three major networks, ABC, NBC, CBS, they avoided covering that part.
Biden, who supports banning assault weapons, pulled no punches as he toured a Detroit auto plant.
Take your AR-14s and
okay, this is not okay. Hold on, all right? A lot of guys want it.
I'm not worried.
Thanks so much.
Give me a break.
Don't be such a worry.
I just love how they say
Biden, who supports banning assault weapons, pulled no punches.
I guess the punches were pulled for him, or at least the threats to slap somebody. All right, that's all the time we have this week. Be sure to check out the awesome conservative gear at MRC-store.com. Head over to MRCTV.org. Like, share, and subscribe to the content. Do it on Facebook and YouTube as well. I'm Eric Shiner from MRC TV, and I'll be back with more media wackiness next week.